Hello and welcome to the Authentic Freedom Virtual Church. My name is Lori Lumby and I'm the pastor and spiritual director of this online virtual community. I'm stepping outside the box and filming from my side porch today, so you might hear neighbor kids hooting and hollering, the wind chimes blowing, neighbors mowing their lawn, and kids playing. It's a beautiful day and it's always good to switch things up a little bit. Switching things up a little bit is a great message or great connection to this Sunday's readings. This Sunday's readings remind us that life isn't always easy, and that in the movement of the human condition, in the unfolding of our life experience, there are often challenges. In this Sunday's Gospel, the challenge that befell upon the disciples was a storm. They were out fishing on the Sea of Galilee, and a storm blew up, and they became scared and terrified. That story provides a beautiful metaphor for the challenges that we face in our lives. Going about our daily lives, going through the experiences that we are being given, often unexpected storms arise. And like the disciples, when these storms arise, our first inclination is to become afraid, to cling to fear, to worry about the outcome and what might happen to our lives. I had a great opportunity this week to be reminded of how storms can simply surface. Out of nowhere, seemingly out of nowhere, I experienced 3 major panic attacks on Saturday, and I can tell you I was terrified. And as I was processing the panic attack, what could have caused it, what things I can do for myself to recover from that, how I might prevent them in the future, I was preparing the Agape newsletter for this week and came upon the Sunday reading and was reminded of what exactly we are invited to do when the unexpected storms surface in our lives. The answer is very simple. What we are invited to do through this Sunday's Gospel is to remember that we are not alone. To remember that not only do we have the company of our friends and our family, co-workers, people who love and care about us, but we have a divine parent that we can turn to when we are afraid. In the Gospel, the disciples turned to Jesus, and Jesus answered their prayer by calming the storm. And then he reminded them, have you lost your faith? Have you forgotten that the source of peace is our connection with God? And that even in the midst of the most terrible storms, that we can find peace when we allow ourselves to reconnect with the divine source that loves us and made us. This is what Jesus reminded the disciples, and this is what we are reminded to embrace in our own lives. When the unexpected storms arise, to remember to turn to God for help. And in turning to God for help, through prayer and meditation, sometimes just through breathing, we're able to slowly and gently restore our minds to that place of peace. The greater gift in just turning to God is that God answers our prayers in unexpected ways. For the disciples, Jesus himself was able to calm the storm. In our own lives, after we turn to God, it is not uncommon that the outpouring of support shows up for us. God supports us through our friends, our family, our ones, our co-workers, reminding us, 1, that our prayers are always answered, and 2, we are never alone. The trick is, are we able and willing to receive that help and support? God is always here as a source of support for us, even in the midst of greatest storms. And sometimes God brings that support through our friends, family, colleagues, even expected people who reach out and for their support.
our invitation to ask, willing to receive, and be attentive to all the generous and amazing ways that God is providing support and for us, even amidst our greatest struggles. Thank you for participating in this service, and in the coming week I invite you to be attentive to the challenge that might arise in your life and her being invited to ask God for help. Be open to receive and to mention all the ways that you are supported.